A pleasant good evening and welcome to SAT TV's Channel 9 Evening News. I am your presenter, Larry LaRock. Thank you for joining us. Among the major developments, water situation in Ansley made to be addressed. Focus on human touch urges Choice Hotel executive. Barclays Bob Diamond resigns amid libel scandal. Print Express Cavaliers has advanced to the cricket finals. Details of these and other stories after the break.
Telecommunications Ltd has obtained the exclusive rights to the 2012 Olympic Games held in the United Kingdom, and these games are the largest in history to date. The impact of these games will bring millions of viewers to the television screen. Telecommunications is a supporter of the Olympics, and in extension, we support the sportsmen and the women of Dominica. Join hands with Telecommunications Ltd and support our sportsmanship. Gold sponsorships at $20,000, silver at $10,000, and bronze at $5,000.
Thank you for staying with us. Now for the details of the news. A number of health practitioners and nutritionists all gathered at the Public Service Training Center (PSTC) on Tuesday, July 3rd for the start of a three-day workshop on prevention and management of overweight and obesity. Nutritionist Mrs. Meredith Steed explains the main objective of the workshop.
The main objective of the workshop is to improve knowledge and develop skills in the prevention, assessment, and management of overweight and obesity in a primary care setting. We will focus on factors contributing to the increasing trends of overweight and obesity by life stage, meaning we will look at children, adolescents, and adults, and this we will put in a Dominican context.
There will also be information on the issue of overweight and obesity in the wider world. She added that this workshop is very important in dealing with the issues mentioned above. Chief Medical Officer Dr. David Johnson says, in tackling the issue of CNCDs in Dominica, the ministry collaborated with the Caribbean Food and Nutrition Institute, CFNI, to host this three-day workshop. Dr. Johnson pointed out that the facilitators of the workshop will speak on the specific and technical aspect of the prevention and management of obesity and overweight.
The adoption of more sedentary lifestyles among populations has resulted in some of us being fatter and at an increased risk for disease and death associated with overweight and obesity. Globally, at least 60% of persons are not physically active enough. This inactivity is attributed to increasing use of passive methods of transportation, increasing sedentary behavior during leisure time, at work, and at home.
Dr. Johnson says that the World Health Organization recognizes that obesity is a major societal problem, and therefore policies, programs, strategies, and plans have been developed to address this serious problem. He added that in Dominica, statistics show that the obesity levels continue to increase.
The prevalence of obesity among the 0 to 5 years increased from 9.3% in 2000 to over 12.3% in 2009. The situation is not any better at the primary school level, where BMI for age status in the year was done in 2010-2011 in 13 selected schools, and revealed that 20% of the entrants and 30% of leavers are either overweight or obese. The Global Health Survey conducted in Dominica in 2008 revealed that 23% of our youth are at risk of becoming overweight, while 10% are overweight.
However, 26.5% of the persons studied reporting having eaten fruits, vegetables 5 or more times within a 30-day period, compared to 57.1% who drank carbonated beverages during the same period.
The STEP survey conducted in Dominica in 2007-2008 among 15 to 64 years old has shown that almost 1 in 2 people are overweight or obese. 6 in every 10 women compared to 3 in every 10 men are either overweight or obese, and 9 in 10 people are not eating the recommended number of servings of fruits and vegetables, while 24% indicate low levels of activity. It is therefore clear that unhealthy diet and inactivity are 2 critical risk factors for obesity.
Dr. Johnson highlighted some of the other risk factors of obesity, which are genetics, family lifestyles, age, social and economic factors. He said dealing with these issues is indeed a huge task which requires the cooperation of all persons to see any forms of success. Dr. Johnson went on to mention that if drastic measures are not taken now, our productive workforce will continue to be affected negatively. Participants will be given certificates after the workshop, which comes to a close on Thursday, July 5th. Many persons received free legal advice island-wide as the Dominica Bar Association held its 2nd annual law fair on Saturday, June 30th. The first law fair was held in Roseau last year at the University of the West Indies UE campus, and as promised, the law fair moved from Roseau to the out districts. Member of the Dominica Bar Association, Ms. Noelis Knight Didier, who was giving legal advice at the courthouse in St. Joseph, says this is a good initiative for the public to benefit from.
The law fair is actually a brainchild of Mrs. Wynant Adrian Roberts. I'm the present executive of the Dominica Bar Association. She's the president. And last year we got such a good turnout that this year we decided to go out into the villages. In St. Joseph we have not had a very good turnout. We've only had just a few people. But in Salibert and in Marigot, I understand they have lots of people coming, which is very good. The whole point of this law fair really is to get out into the communities and try to give back a bit, to persons who are probably not able to afford to go to a lawyer's office, pay that consultation fee and visit a lawyer, talk to a lawyer about their problems. So we go out into the community and offer the service for free at least once a year.
Ms. Didier says that each time they host the law fair, it is advisable that the public takes full advantage of it as people bring a number of problems to them. She said although St. Joseph numbers were very low in terms of persons coming for advice, the communities such as Marigot, Portsmouth and the Carib Reserve had much better numbers in terms of the turnout.
This is the 2nd annual. Yes, we do plan on maintaining it, doing it every single year. So we started it last year, the support was very good, and we do plan on continuing it each year. So probably next year we may go, to Scott's Head or to Grand Bay and so on to different places. I think that would be a decision that will have to be made next year.
The law fair is part of the association's public outreach program, which aims at giving back to the community. It was held in Portsmouth, Marigot, St. Joseph, and the Kalinago territory this year. Organizers of one local festival are now in a better position as they received a monetary donation. Dominica's annual Nature Island Literary Festival and Book Fair was given a cash donation by the CIBC First Caribbean International Bank on Monday, July 2nd in the sum of 5,000 EC dollars. The bank's business support officer, Ms. Rona Lawrence, who made the presentation, said First Caribbean is pleased to make this donation to the Nature Island Literary Festival and Book Fair.
CIBC First Caribbean acknowledges the importance of a well-rounded individual to the development of Dominica, and such well-roundedness comes from a broadening of one's mind, which comes from being well-read. The festival and book fair offers such an opportunity. CIBC First Caribbean is all about total development, financial as well as educational. Hence the reason why we are very happy to be associated with the Nature Island Literary Festival and Book Fair.
Ms. Lawrence added that CIBC First Caribbean is all about total development and regards this festival as a forum that helps push forward that aspiration. She hopes that with this financial contribution, that this year's festival will be another success. In thanking the CIBC First Caribbean International for the cash donation, the festival organizing committee's chairman, Mr. Alwyn Bully, said the cash donation will go a long way. He said the festival was into its 5th year and is thankful for the support of entities like CIBC First Caribbean who have been vital to the survival of the festival.
We have attracted a large audience over the years, young people as well as people of all ages and backgrounds who have seen the value of this particular event. As such, we'd like to see it grow from strength to strength. We can look forward, I'm sure, to support of CIBC in the future, as well as members of the bank attend the festival as members of the audience. So we're very, very grateful, and we'd like to thank you again for that.
Patience is running thin for the residents of Ansdemi and Benz due to the current water situation. The villagers say that they are becoming more frustrated as the days go by, and the situation needs to be addressed immediately. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit says that he is aware of the issue that the Ansdemi residents are facing.
Because with that you can help the government advance a number of the projects and programs that you so badly need in this part of Dominica. I recognize that the most important project in Benz Ansdemi Solar is the completion of the water project.
Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit says that he will be back in the community of Ansdemi on July 9th and the contract for the water project will be signed.
And I recognize that on July 9th, I'll be back here and the cabinet will be back here with you to speak about how can we work together. What plans and programs you would like to put to the government for consideration in advancing the development of Benz Ansdemi Solar. And I will say to you that on that day, we shall sign the contracts to begin work on the water project in Benz Ansdemi Solar.
He commends the residents for their patience and says that it is not only Dominica that is going through a tough period. Mr. Skerrit says that although our country may not be as developed as others, we should not give up. According to him, this is a challenging phase that many countries go through and we must work together.
Advancing Dominica's development, particularly in a period when the whole world is going through a crisis, is not easy at all. And I really want to thank you here in Benz Ansdemi and Solar for the understanding and patience that you have demonstrated to the government in that regard. And I am very grateful for so many of you, dozens of you who are here from overseas, because I know things are not as bright as they were 5 or 6 years ago in the United States or Canada and the rest of the world. The world is going for a very difficult period, a very challenging period, and it therefore behoves us to work together.
In addition, he mentions that most times we focus on negativity.
Too often, we spend time about the negatives, what's not happening, what should be happening. Let us focus on the positive things that are happening, the good things that are happening for our families, for our country, or for our community, and highlight those things in the hope that we can build on those positive things that are happening within our country and our community.
We now go to Destin Joseph for a report.
Right now, we're at the House of Assembly for a special gathering of parliamentarians of China and Dominica. Vice Chairman of the Standing Committee of China's National People's Congress, His Excellency Shen Shanzi, says it brings him great pleasure to meet the parliamentarians of the House of Assembly of Dominica. Mr. Shanzi believes our government has made great efforts for both countries, and he says that they have played an important role in regional affairs.
All the parliamentarians present here have made tremendous efforts for the growth of the relationship between our two countries and friendship between our two peoples. Taking this opportunity, I wish to express to you a heartfelt thanks and cordial greetings.
He added that both countries face common challenges and China will continue to honor all its commitments and maintain world peace through its own development. Mr. Shanzi also mentioned that before making any lawful decisions and implementing rules, their party consult with the people and other parties.
In the past several years, the Dominican government has made encouraging progress in economic and social development by responding to the international financial crisis and the challenges of the natural disasters. People's lives here have also been improved. As a friend of the Dominican people, we are truly happy about what you have achieved and sincerely wish you even greater progress on your way forward.
He says despite the geographical distance between both countries, the aim is to develop each country to the fullest.
Far away from each other, our two peoples cherish profound goodwill towards each other.
建交8年来，这两国政府和人民的共同理想，两国高层交往密切，政治基础不断巩固，经贸、旅游、科技、文化、教育、卫生等领域。
Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit says over the last few years, Dominica has improved and developed, and we are ready to work with China more in the future.
Excellency, we want to thank the government and the People's Republic of China for the tremendous assistance which you have rendered to us over the last 8 years. We can speak to a number of projects and programs, including short-term and long-term training programs for our young Dominicans.
I'm Deslin Joseph reporting for SAT TV News, and back to you, Larry.
Thank you, Deslin, for that report. July 1st marked the opening ceremony of Fetla Kudre under the theme Rebuilding from the Past to the Present for the Future of Our Communities. It marks a week of activities planned by the Buffalo State Development Committee, which includes a fitness night on July 3rd, panel discussion on July 4th, games night on July 5th, and a talent night on July 7th. Chairperson of the committee, Ms. Cassandra Williams, says Fetla Kudre is not about the committee, but rather the community.
While a committee has been elected to steer the activities of the community, the onus is on each one of us to ensure that the community receives the attention it so deserves. And as such, I wish to appeal to the residents that the seeming segregation of the different sections of Buffalo State be something of the past. I would also therefore urge the residents of the community to support and encourage all those persons who have genuinely given their time voluntarily and who have made themselves available to contribute to the development of our communities.
She says the committee cannot do the work alone and wishes that persons with the needed talent and skills make their contributions in improving the community. Honorable Ambrose George, parliamentary representative for the Rosa South constituency, says Fetla Kudre is very useful as an activity which attempts to bring the community of Buffalo State together and to see togetherness prevail in our communities. He says that in recent times we have seen a rapid development in Buffalo State.
If we look at, for example, housing, we've seen a number of new housing projects. We've seen new residential homes being built. And of course, we've heard of the 2 areas that have been selected for the new housing apartments, which will be built commencing sometime this year. One is at the old site of the Service Department, and the other one is the playing field in Memsol, located close to the river.
There has also been a progress in sports, especially football, and he would like to see that continue. He says for future development, he would like to see a greater level of volunteerism in getting involved in community-based projects.
Too often do we want to rely on probably the city council or the government to do things that probably we ourselves can do. And I would like to say to the development committee, whilst you have attempting to do your share, and you have been doing quite a bit, that probably we should attempt to get greater involvement of the residents themselves, so that we can have an adopter block, so that persons on a particular street or lane can make themselves available and responsible for cleaning the lane or cleaning the street.
He says there is a lot of potential for further development in the community of Buffalo State. We now join Nisha Charles at the Dominica State College for a report.
We're here at the Dominica State College where they're hosting their first college duvet.
The Dominica State College hosted its first college fair dubbed College Duvet at the Stone Fountain campus on July 3rd. The event had a twofold design. Firstly, it was to inform prospective students about the programs offered at the Dominica State College and possible careers available to them. Ashma McDougall, Associate Professor of Economics and Business at the State College, says that students do not necessarily need to follow the path from high school when they get to the college level, that there are many other options and the fair would help them realize this.
We find that a lot of times students come in and they say, okay, from high school, I've done business, I got a 1 in business, then I'm going to actually pursue an associate degree in business. But it's not like that, because sometimes you could just be great in physics. You understand? You may want to become an engineer, but you see business as something that you want to do.
The day was also filled with activities geared towards interaction with other students and staff. Ms. McDougall says this is an opportunity to train individuals holistically to be functioning members of society.
So the entire purpose of this is to just better inform students of the programs that we offer and create that network. So before they actually come to campus in September, they have friends and they've met the lecturers and they know the campus. That's basically what the event is for today.
Clem Francis, incoming student at the State College, says that for him the fair was mainly an opportunity to make friends and meet present students and staff of the Dominica State College. He says that his mind was already made up on what he wants to major in, but thinks that this venue would be the right place to get to make a more informed decision for someone who is not sure of their career choice.
I met quite a few new people that I'm sure I've been in some classes with, and I think that was the most important part of this. It helps us make friends at this early stage, so that when we start college, we'll already be settled down and we'll know we already have our friends. And it also showed us the teachers. It showed us who's charged like things at the registrar, and it showed us what classes are and what school do, and give us more information about the majors for those of us who may not have made our choices as yet.
The events of the day culminated with the finals of a Scholastic Bowl, a Jeopardy-like quiz show in which the first prize was a trip to St. Lucia, compliments l'Express des Îles.
This is Nisha Charles reporting for SAT TV News. Back to you, Larry.
Thank you, Nisha, for that report. We now go back to Ms. Desiree Joseph for tonight's court news.
In court on June 3rd, Lowick Williams and Johnson Liverpool, both 18 years of age and from Granby, pleaded guilty to stealing a Dell laptop valued of $2,500 from Jeffrey Abraham of Granby. The incident took place on the 30th of June when Mr. Abraham left his home around noon when two young men entered his home and took the laptop. A neighbor saw the incident, and when Mr. Abraham returned home and saw that the front door was open and the laptop was missing, he inquired about it and found that the two young men were the culprits. He then reported the incident at the Granby police station. When questioned about the laptop, Mr. Williams and Mr. Liverpool admitted to the stealing of the laptop and brought the police to where it was. Magistrate Audley Lewis fined both men $1,000 each to be paid by 15 September 2012 in full. In default, spent 4 months in prison.
Thank you, Ms. Joseph, for the news. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.
Support local. Support SAT Telecommunications Ltd, the people's choice. Join hands with us. Come and sign up for your digital TV connection today. We got the sharpest, cleanest, brightest digital TV connection. No antiquated analog service, only pure digital, and many new packages coming soon. With latest in sports, movies, children programming, and much more. So if you have your flat screen TV and you want to see quality TV, join now. Sign up today for your digital television. Support local, support SAT Telecommunications Ltd, the people's choice.